backing music was used illegally.
That XP was remarkable, unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, XP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to Series 3 of the WYcast. I had to rap one. Don't look at me like that. I'm XP, producer and I rap. Leads dub wires where I hung up my hi-hat. And I did decide that the scene needs a push. There's so many dope artists who don't speak enough. My wife got me a Zoom H2.
Cheers, love.
So I roam West Yorkshire where the scenery's lush and talk to those involved in the hip-hop scene and what made them turn to rap when they were pissed off teens. Is it just to help them let off steam, or are they trying to live off it, graft endlessly and get some green? Either way, it's sick to be making music in dub Y and reconnect the community with good vibes. Armed with a Zoom recorder, GoPro plus mics, I set up outside and meet people like Jack Danz, a guy who needs very little introduction, one of the most important beat makers in the whole UK scene, never mind dub Y, one of the hardest working dudes, been making sick beats forever. A lot of people know him through his work with Defenders of Style, but of late he's just worked with everyone in the UK and he's absolutely unreal with it. It was great to catch a little bit of time with him down by the River Aire in Kirkstall Abbey. And yeah, it's a great chat. Good way to start the series.
Yeah, let's go.
Jack Danz.
Yo.
Through your cigarettes. An absolute pleasure.
I can't be held responsible for any damage I cause, mate. We're going to start like that. Disclaimer.
Legend, man. Thanks for joining me by the River Aire, which I haven't done on the podcast yet, so I'm glad to be repping this. Not far from my house
Beautiful
at all.
spot, innit? Beautiful spot.
Bro, you are what I consider to be like one of the most important producers in West Yorkshire and the UK hip-hop in general.
Thanks, bro.
Having driven all sorts of like interest from, Blah Records and the like, bro. And honestly, it's a pleasure being in your company, man. I've kind of watched what you guys have done since Defenders of Style to like where you are now, and it is just like I just sit back and go, fucking hell, they've smashed it, and you've smashed it. So,
man. Thanks a lot.
well, I mean, thank you for doing that for West Yorkshire, and thanks for being so fucking sick for starters. Where does the story start with you, bro? I don't really know much about you, but I know you went to Lawnswood School and that. Is that right?
That's where it all started.
Nice.
Yeah,
what birth year were you, bro?
88.
88?
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
So you're even 3 years younger
What
than me,
about
which
yourself?
is piss annoying. I'm 85, so I'm a bit
no
older
way,
than
no
you,
way.
which is annoying.
You got a bit of that Thatcher era.
Yeah.
Nice, really nice, yeah.
So were you, did you have a musical upbringing at all, or was it like school? Was it at school before you got interested in bits?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always been like mad interested in music. Do you know what I mean? But I never learned it. I didn't even do it in school until like GCSE.
Mad. And did you do you do GCSE music?
Obviously, I did like recorder in primary school. You know what everyone does.
Three blind mice and shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Banger.
Hot cross buns, three blind mice, twinkle twinkle little star. But there's some classics, mate. And then I started doing music like academically in high school about GCSE, but it was mad because our school, they were like, they were really supportive of like, I don't know what you'd call it, what would you class it as, like sort
creative
of
arts and gifted and talented sort of thing.
Yeah, so they set up like graffiti workshops and shit for us, yeah. And they had like some of the older dons come through and teach us how to paint properly and that.
Mad.
Because we all started pretty much doing graffiti. We used to set up like a little tape deck and fucking rap our freestyles and people were scratching and what have you, but we never really took it serious until a bit later on.
Yeah.
But it were really more about graffiti to begin with. Like that's how me and Joe Snow and Priest and Discuss, we all linked up.
So you were all painting out Leeds wave first thing you did, like?
Yeah, man, like I say, they taught us in school. We were all messing about and that, but we were a bit shit, you know what I mean? But then they taught us properly in school, and like a lot of cats that I went to school with, they're fucking like world-class painters now. Yeah, it's wild, man, it's wild.
Mad. And what was so you said you were already like had tapes on and you were freestyling, so where does the interest in hip-hop start, or I'm rapping?
My sister got me into hip-hop, man. Yeah? She was like mad on Beastie Boys and like Eminem. Yeah, but I've got an older and a younger sister, but my older sister was mad on rap. Like she used to record videos on the VHS off MTV, and we used to just sit there and play it, rewind it, yeah, like about 100 times.
Nice.
Yeah, me and her used to get well into it, but so she put me on. Then I used to like record tapes off like Westwood. He used to play on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
and I used to play it to Alt Boys. I remember Bretsky, you know Bretsky,
Leeds, he's got
Bretsky,
a
OV
paint store.
Leeds, yeah, absolute fucking don.
Yeah.
He used to hook me up with some tapes when I was really young, like just from knowing him around like the painting circles and what have you.
Yeah.
Immortal Technique, Benefit type shit, and he used to like play that to all the boys, and that kind of got us into, you know, you don't have to be like world famous to be a good rapper, do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely
like
not. What age are we talking here? What age are we talking, you reckon?
We're talking like 14, 15,
okay.
yeah. So yeah, and then it was just like, you know, you remember HMV in Leeds City Centre?
Of course.
They used to have a bit of a records collection, and they used to sell like, obviously all the big songs used to come out with the instrumental on the B-side, like MOP, Anti-Up was one that we absolutely rinsed. Then you had like a few G-Unit bits and that, and we just used to play the instrumental over it, all good D12 and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we used to just, you know, one guy, my mate Elliot, would be on the decks and he'd be cutting it up, you know, just mixing the instrumentals. Surplus is my boy, but he's actually from Ipswich.
Ah, right.
But there's a lad from Leeds who I'm really tight with. He's called Elliot, and he, it was his house. His mum and dad were well accommodating and that, and they used to let us go around and just smoke weed and fucking rap and shit.
Nice.
And have a bit of a party, do you know what I mean?
Sick. So
that's how it started.
And you start writing then, or was it just like freestyling? What were it just? Was it just bars for the sake of bars at the time with your boys? Or?
We were writing bars, but at that time I only had a handful. I mean, I went through my period of writing bars. Like I've got literally like notebook on notebook full of that shit.
Yeah.
But at that time I only had a handful of written bars, so you just spit them and then it kind of, you know, evolve into freestyle. Sort of thing. But
when was the first time you recorded then? You recorded yourself?
Well, like we were recording that on the tape deck. So we used to have all these tapes. Some of them were probably still knocking about, man.
Yeah.
We used to have all these tapes. Just you know how you used to do that when the radio came on, you press play record on
the
just
set a generation
just like that, and then we had one mic going into the, you know, the hi-fi and just record, and they come out all right. It's kind of like that. It's like I got some mad philosophy these days where it's like the shitter your equipment, man, the better it sounds. You know what I mean? It's like you don't need to be polished. You know.
With hip hop, I think specifically it lends itself to that vibe totally. Whereas if you've got like a bit of a shitter sound system, or you're putting it through some horrible like tape deck or whatever, the fact it gets fucked with a lot. Well, that comes across in like some of your beats anyway these days, and man, like just trying to.
Well, that's the mad thing, you know. I've got access to all this software now, and it's like at the end of the day, I'm degrading shit to make it sound fucked up. It's like that's what I love about hip hop.
On a side, I had a session where I had a Jamatoni session with Cell Rock where he came through and did some samples with us, and I had a clarinet player who usually has a mic, and I didn't record his mic in, and I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And we ended up taking the audio from the GoPro, putting that underneath, and like fucked it up. And I sent it to Cell Rock, and he was like, "Yep, that's sick. That's how I make my shit." Just layering some nasty fucking camera audio underneath.
I got to send a mad shout out to Cell Rock, man. That guy's an absolute wizard. Like I've sat there with him, and it's just like 3 minutes beats made. You know what I mean? It takes me a bit more plotting and planning, but for him, it's like it's flowing through his body. Do you know what I mean? I've seen the guy just like chop a sample in like literally a minute and a half, and then he just taps it out. Yeah, plays the drums with his fingers and shit. I can't do that.
He's sick as fuck.
I'm drawing it all in. Do you know what I mean?
So you were doing a bit of graffiti with the boys. And then you did GCSE music. That kind of put you on to like more production
I didn't
stuff?
actually do GCSE music.
You were
I was just learning it at that time, you know, just before GCSEs.
Yeah.
So I was learning music because my form tutor were music. So I were in the music class, so anytime we had a bit of time, there were, you know, computers and that knocking about.
So because Beats is like one of your main, obviously you're an incredible MC as well, but like Beats is your, you know, bread and butter, I'd say. What production-wise, when did that come in, and what were you first producing on that?
Well, when sort of we left school and we were like looking to do Defenders more seriously, and we're getting booked for loads of shows. Do you know what I mean?
At 16 is this?
Yeah.
You do sixth form.
I did sixth form.
Right.
I mean, I did college. I did Park Lane College.
Yeah.
A few of the lads sacked it off at 16, but others did.
So you,
various
Priest,
bits.
Joe, and Disgust were all in the same year at Lawnswood?
Yeah.
Mad.
Priest wanted at Lawnswood, but he were close by.
Yeah.
Me, Disgust, and Snow, and a lot of like the graffiti boys was all in Lawnswood. There's
Who
a
knew
lot
Priest?
of people.
How did you get
I
Priest in?
don't even know, man. Oh no, I had a job, mate. I had a job washing dishes in fucking Salvos. Do you know Headingley?
Yeah.
And he just happened to work there.
Mad.
And like, they just got on like a fucking house on fire, mate. So it were like first shift.
Nice.
And he was just like proper sound lad and that. So I started chatting to him about what we did and shit. And he just started getting involved. I think he knew some older lads from Lawnswood.
Is he a bit older
couple
than you?
years. He's same age,
he say
but
8 years, or
he knocked about with like older people, I think.
Right.
He knew a few of them, and then ended up. We all used to go get pissed on this one place up in West Park.
Oh, yeah.
This hill near the Carnegie, and like it used to be like fucking 100 people turn out
Sick.
from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And he just ended up getting on board and doing a lot of painting with us, doing a lot of rapping with us.
When was the first time the four of you, like... So I guess the four of you did some freestyling with at the graph jams or whatever, when you were graffitiing and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it were always like, just when we were getting pissed and that, you know, we just have a little rap, and freestyling comes naturally when you're drunk, doesn't it? So
how did it go
from
from like just four lads freestyling when they're pissed to like, okay, we'll call Defenders a style now, we'll do gigs now? What was that transition?
There was this one lad that we knocked about with, and he proper believed in us and that, and he was like, you know, it is, lads, I'll pay the money for you to press a CD. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Who was that guy? Sick guy.
That's West. Like, I ain't seen him for years. He's a Birmingham lad.
Right.
But
Legend,
I got to shout him out because he funded it. It wouldn't be no Defenders without him. Like, it's pretty mad, like the course it's taken, do you know what I mean? But he said, I whacked the money down, so then it were like, shit, we got to produce something. So we got involved with like Mike D, High Top, because they're just like local producers.
Yeah, Subterranean Mike D.
Yeah, that's it.
Legend, man.
He was doing bits like professionally at that point, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was the whole like Northern Hostility thing, which kind of brought a lot of people together.
Yeah.
And then... Yeah, so
where did you record your first bits with Defenders then?
We done some with Mike.
Yeah.
We done some in. We actually did like the first 2 songs we did was like super pro. Like somebody paid for us to go to like a proper studio.
Mad.
It were down in Kirkstall, but again it came out so clean.
Yeah, doesn't sound right, does it?
We made the music and we were like, we hate this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what it was. Do you know what I mean? It was good in some ways, but we're listening back to it, we're like, it sounds like dead polished and clean, you know, and that's not when you're used to them tapes that you was recording.
Yeah.
And then you get that, and it's like your voice is dead clear and that.
Man, it's the last thing you need. And the amount of times that happened to me, I'd jump in a studio and go, right, we're doing it professionally this time, but like it's perfect mics, crispy clean. The engineers like trying to make it sound like radio mastering. It's not the one, man. So, were they over your beats those first few?
Well, like I said, the first album, The Force of the Nameless, is, I think it's majority of my beats, but like literally, like I say, I had no clue what I was doing. I was literally just, I mean, YouTube wasn't even about then. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't really teach yourself. I was just like,
how were you producing?
I just had Reason.
Nice.
This lad gave me Reason, like a crack copy of Reason, and I just like learned how to use the drum machine.
Yeah.
And everything was like quantized and like, it was just a bit, and then throw like a sample loop over it. Yeah. It's easy enough, innit? But, you know, people buzz off that shit, but I listen to it back and I'm like,
It really is.
Obviously, I'm a perfectionist with that shit, but.
You still use Reason now?
Nah, man, I use Logic.
Logic, fair dues.
Yeah.
Because you were, I'd say, and I've said this before about your drums are sick, banging as fuck, to a point where you got the drums down, you can almost have just a few little bits of noises, and it still bangs like fuck. You know what I mean? And was that shown even back then? Was that the sort of weird drums first and then
worry about
the
you know
rest
what's mad, man? Like I must have spent like a decade just doing drums.
Yeah.
pretty much. Like you say, just make the drums sound as good as I can, and then just throw anything over the top, and it sound all right.
Yeah,
as long as you got the groove sounding all right, do you know what I mean? Then you're pretty cool. But it's only in the past few years when I've really started to like study melody and learn about chords and
Did you
music theory a bit more.
Did you ever play any instruments yourself? Did you ever play drums, or did you ever play them live in or anything like that?
Nah, I've never played the drum. I mean, I've had a whack on a drum kit. Do you know what I mean? But I can't play anything properly, really.
Fair.
I've taught myself, like, I've started teaching myself, like, you know, songs from the past that I really fuck with.
Yeah.
I sort of learn how the chords work and play that on the keyboard. So
nice.
that's sort of like broken down. I'm talking like Nancy Sinatra and like all the old shit that I'm like, yo, this has got some proper emotion to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, how is that working melodically? Do you know what I mean? And it's a lot of the same rules that apply to a lot of the songs that I really fuck with. Like, you know, I'm talking like House of the Rising Sun and shit. I learn how to play them on the piano and then I sort of adapt that for my own music. Do you know what I mean?
Sick, man. So you're making a few beats on Reason back then, and then you put this album that West puts the money up for to record. So and you said you were already getting gig offers. What was going on in terms of like, was live performance an important thing for the four of you, like the Defenders of Style?
Yeah, man, that was a big part of it, man.
You guys had a sick name back in the day, like from day one, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's mostly to do with Tony Green, innit? Because he took a proper liking to us. Someone like, I really like what you're doing, lads. He put us on like so many sick shows, man.
Yeah.
MF Doom we supported Method Man and Redman, we supported Farside a couple of times, we supported... Oh man, the list goes. Like I'm gonna say right now, man, I've got the memory of a goldfish, man. Like seriously, I've got a terrible memory. But I remember them ones for certain. But there's Kano. Yeah, I mean,
Kano's sick.
I think my man Joe Snow's coming back to the country and he's looking to get him here to have a chat.
I'd like to do that with him.
He's got a much better memory than me.
Oh,
so
so he'll go through the list.
Yeah, I'm putting another disclaimer out. Yeah, just take everything I say with a pinch of salt because my memory is fucking shot, mate. Yeah, it's one of them, innit?
Still though, Tony Green was putting you on like.
That definitely happened.
Yeah.
Tony is like, I've got to rate him because I've always known, you know, Shane 10 Ton, the breakdancer.
Yeah.
I've always known his family and shit. I went to school with him and what have you. So they've always, like, anything he was doing, like, he used to do the Unity Day with Tony. Them two used to do, what do you call it? Fresh Jive. Yeah. And they just like, fucking helped us out so much, mate. Put us on for so many gigs, and that's where I really got the the first taste of performing live, and it was to some big crowds, man.
Yeah. You fucking smashed it. So they're the sort of top ones that you remember off the top of your head. Them sort of
apart from the shit abroad, like.
Oh yeah, what were the abroad ones? Did you go do Outlook? Did you?
We done Croatia like 3 times.
Nice.
We done Switzerland like 3 times.
Mental.
We done. I mean, just all over, man.
Did it go
Austria,
off
Germany.
in Switzerland?
Switzerland went off, mate.
Did it? Yeah.
It's wild, man. They got a mad, like, you know, all these countries. Yeah, they're like, it's sad to say, but like they're kind of a bit behind in terms of the culture. Like, you know, UK is like the forefront. I mean, obviously America's the forefront.
A lot of people consume British culture though, still, don't they?
Man.
Like,
and it's like
Europe.
To them, it's like the booms right now. Do you know what I mean? Or 5 years ago, or what have you?
Yeah.
And the graffiti thing and the boom bap thing is like massive there. So they welcome you with open arms.
Nice.
And, I mean, they're so hospitable, like lovely people, and just letting us stay in the parents' house and that, and just like proper nice houses and all these, like, we stayed in this like hillside fucking sort of treehouse thing, but it were like 5-star, mate. It were fucking wild.
Nice.
So sick in Switzerland, man.
And that's just through people you knew, got to know, or whatever. Like, is it that you got to play these gigs abroad or whatever?
I can't tell you how them ones came about, man. But they did. I mean, Joe Snow was always the guy for like the bookings and.
That's the question I was going to ask. How do you guys for like? Because there's always someone who has to do the donkey work. So we just said, Joe, we're doing the donkey work.
Well, it were between him and DJ Surplus, because I live with DJ Surplus. I think he were down here. He came to live in Leeds. Like I say, he were from Ipswich. But we ended up living together, and he was the turntablist, so he'd mix up the beats while we were playing live. That was a big part of it. And then Joe were doing a lot of the networking. He's a good like that. Do you know what I mean? And then I was just the one producing it, sitting in bedroom making it sound good.
Getting the beats together.
That's
so it was up to them
my
to sort you all out. Nice, man. So that after that first album dropped, then like, what was the? What even year was that? That you guys were like what 18, 19 with that first album?
It might be 2005, 2006.
Right. Okay.
But I could find out.
18.
But
Yeah.
It's about then.
And you continue. So like when I first heard about Defenders, mostly it was that carrying a fucking sofa about everywhere and rapping on it. What the fuck was that called again?
Fish in a barrel.
Fish in a barrel, mate. Yeah, which has got 7 billion views on YouTube.
Sick,
I think. What era of Defenders of Style was that? Remind me. What album did that come off? That Fish in a Barrel. Do you remember?
Fish in a Barrel was it wasn't on that first album. I don't think. I mean, it could have been, man. Like, I don't even listen to the music I made last year. Do you know what I mean?
Is it? Yeah.
I'm just one of them guys. When I put that much time into it and I'm making it, I don't really go back to shit.
Really?
I mean, here and there, like if I'm wasted or something, I'll listen to a project I've done. But I ain't gone back to that shit for fucking years, man.
Really? So you'll work up to the point and then produce it, and then you kind of it's done as far as you're concerned, and you're on to the next thing. Is that?
Yeah, I drive myself mad with it, mate. Sitting there just going over and over and over and like getting a bit perfectionist with it.
Get too close to the project a little bit, I guess.
And by the time it comes out, I'm like, right, I'm sick of that. Let's make something else.
Put some Nancy Sinatra on.
Do it too, right? Yeah.
I remember you. I think you either made an Instagram or made a SoundCloud or something, or the D Boogie shit. And it was the first time you'd ever set up as a solo anything online, because otherwise it had just been Defenders of Style as like a one. And I remember like you having a couple of followers and thinking to myself, that ain't gonna last long. And sure enough, years later, like your solo shit went crazy. What do you attribute that to? Because like it felt like you were making beats for Defenders, and to be fair, half a fucking WY in some shape or form. How do you attribute your solo rise? Because you've ended up producing for the biggest names. You've ended up putting I was only listening and promoted this morning your Blah Records solo release and shit, which is like all about you rapping, all about you producing kind of thing. Like, how did you get from there to there? Are you networking yourself? What's it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always just spent a shitload of time on it, man. So there's always been time where it's like, right, I ain't got anyone else to produce for. I'm gonna make my own shit, and obviously I love rapping and that. Yeah. So yeah, I've always done my own shit alongside Defenders. I've just been like, certain beats where it's like this favours myself more. Do you know what I mean? So I'll keep that to one side. But there's always stuff there. But it's like that's just a natural evolution, man, of me spending so much time doing it. Do you know what I mean? That it's got to the point where I can make a solo LP and I can, produce for all these guys simultaneously. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe you put a solo out. The first solo thing I heard from you that was like a full project was that Chambers something. What was it?
Chapters from the Padded Cell.
That's it. Chapters from the Padded Cell. Word, man. That was quite a while ago as well, wasn't it?
I think that was like the same time as that first Defenders project.
Right.
That was like 18, 19. Yeah.
So you're starting to put your name about and have a reputation, sort of thing.
Yeah, man. Just banging out music left, right, and centre, man. I was just like a fucking machine with that shit, man.
Yeah. Are you just like when you've got downtime? Are you just like making beats? Currently, like if you've got a spare minute, is that what you're doing, or?
Yeah, I mean that's what I do for my job, bro. Now,
Yeah, you full time in music,
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of mixing, mastering. Yep. I even do like mastering dance music and shit.
Is it? Yeah.
And just where you can get money. I do teaching. I do recording.
What have you been teaching?
Teaching Ableton.
Nice.
Yeah. So majority of new producers I meet, they're on Ableton. Do you know what I mean? I know how to use them all, mate. Yeah. I use Alt. Do you know what I mean? But I favour Logic just because I've used it for so long. Yeah. But I do Ableton a lot with my friend who primarily uses Ableton, and I teach on Ableton. Yeah. But I teach people just like, not music theory, but the theory of like, just how to come out of a decent product, what I mean? Yeah,
where the 2 and the 4 is and shit like that, how a beat is formed and all the rest of it. Mark, you do that in a school, in a DJ school somewhere, or are you doing it?
I was teaching DJing in, where's that now? Bermatos, the academy there. Yeah. We're teaching all kids, so we had like year 7s, year 8s, and we just get the full class in.
How's that, bro? Because I've done some teaching, and I did about a year of it. I was like, fuck this shit, because it's too stressful with kids. How are you finding that?
Nah, I loved it, man.
Yeah?
I loved it, man. You proper connect with them kids. It's like, before I went to first session, teacher took me to one side and she's like, just so you know, about 70% of these kids probably haven't had a meal today. So that's the kind of thing you're dealing with, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a pretty fucking deprived area, man. I'm not gonna lie. And these kids have kind of like they're proper infused to learn, do you know what I mean? So they're loving it, man. When you got the decks going and you're blasting the music out in their school, they're kind of like it's that same thing that I got in my school. Do you see what I mean? Like they were teaching us how to spray paint, bro. It's wild, man. But yeah, like I say, I loved it, man. They loved it, and then I was like to them, all right, tell me all the music you want and I'll download it for you for the next session. So they've told me all this music and it's all this fucking drill stuff, And I've come back and they're playing drill and it's going, fucking this, fucking that. Teachers looking at me like, yeah. So some funny moments, man. But I don't mind teaching, man, but the stuff I do primarily is one-on-one. Yeah, and we've got a place in Armley. Yeah. It's like a converted, an old mill and that. Yeah. And we've got a little studio downstairs. Nice. We'll be teaching. We were renting it out for a while, but I work with a fella down there doing mastering and...
You're doing one-on-one Ableton stuff? Like?
Yeah, like I do one-on-one Ableton. Like, It's people in Australia, people in Canada.
Oh, so you're doing it over Zoom?
Like, well, I was doing it to begin with in pandemic over Zoom. Yeah. And then I've got a few lads that come down now. So some come from York, Sheffield. They actually drive down and we go in the studio. It's a lot better face to face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But you can do it on Zoom. There's a program, and I'm gonna forget the name of it. But it's kind of like a live streaming where you can sort of link up your DAWs.
Oh, okay. So you can kind of affect what they're doing. At the same time.
Can like control their mouse. So they'll open the project on their screen, and I'll be like, right, do this, and I'm just controlling their mouse with my mouse. So nice. I've forgotten what the program's called, but it'd be handy for people to know. But there's a Waves one as well that's just come out, but I use that. Where you could do that. You can sort of interact on the same project over the internet. I mean, it's a bit sketchy at times, but it does a fucking trick.
Mate, amazing. So your bread and butter's music, which is like half the battle, bro, because a lot of people... Well, I'm sure there was a time in your life, well, indeed there definitely was, because I remember dapping you when you worked at Wardrobe and you were still rapping and producing.
I've done all of it. I have done every shit minimum wage job you can imagine.
When did you decide that music could pay the bills? When was the point where you were like, I can fucking make a go of this, actually?
Just like... post-pandemic, bro, yeah, is when it really came together, because obviously a lot of people sat in their house and it opened the avenue, and just through chatting with them and that sort of developed relationships, and then just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna sack my job off. I was working for Sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing what for Sky?
Hated it, man. Yeah.
Just on phones or whatever?
Provisioning and that. Like complex provisioning where you have to set up internet in like the country and shit, and it's like all these mad, you got to deal with all these different teams and nobody communicates properly. Yep. It's a pile of shite, mate. But
so hatred led you to...
I sacked it off, man.
Sick.
Like, yeah. It was just doing me no good mental health wise, do you know what I mean?
Of course, And now what? Happy as Larry doing what you're doing now with the various... I mean, every day must be different, right?
I won't quite say happy as Larry, man, but we're getting there. I'm medicated, so I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. But it's one of them, innit? It's like... It's always known that that's what I wanted to do.
Of course. And that's what you're good at as well, I imagine. Like, and you grafted at.
So getting to that point is a fucking blessing, mate. Like, I thank my blessings, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man, but it's hard sometimes, It's not like consistent income. So sometimes I make a shitload of money. Sometimes I don't make fuck all. So you've got to be a bit careful with it.
Have you done much publishing kind of stuff? I know Hashfinger Diz has done a few bits where he's like got songs played on TV or whatever. Do you have like links for that? Because you'd be astonishing at that, I bet.
Yeah, man. Hashfinger's the Don, by the way. I got to shout him out, man.
Yeah, he was shouting you out. He was shouting you out.
That's my brother right there, man.
Honestly, I'm going to go off on one, actually, because I did to him. I know about the HashDanz project. Mm-hmm. I know about the collaborative project with you guys, and I know it's fucking too dope. And I know you sat on it, and it's pretty much done. So please get that shit done.
Do you know me and him, though? Like, we're so fucking similar. It's like, we made all these sick beats, and then we've just, every time we link up, we're like, look at each other. Should we just make another beat? You know what I mean? We don't finish fuck off because we're just like, we're so fucking into the process.
Labels waiting to put that out on vinyl, man. Believe.
Yeah, I literally spoke to him about half an hour before I've come met you.
Bane?
No, Hashi.
Oh, Hashi, lovely.
Yeah, and We're gonna link up and get that shit finished, man.
Make it happen for WY.
No, it needs to. No, it's all there, man. It's
Yeah.
all there. It just needs mastering and shit. But
Sick,
that's
sick,
the boring
sick.
part, innit?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know
That's
what I
the bullshit part. But then at least like you've got that background in mastering now, so hopefully you better knock that out pretty quick. It's not like
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I don't touch. I'm mix and record in my studio. I don't touch mastering, even for my own shit. Because I find it a bit of a wizard's art, where you could do 10 seconds of mastering or 2 years of mastering on the same track, never really get the result, maybe. So I just can't find a happy medium with it, so I get someone else to do it.
man.
And
I
I'm like,
mean, I've heard the shit you engineer, man, and that sounds like all you need to do is slap a limiter on it, bro.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
good to
potentially,
go.
potentially,
But
yeah.
you're right, man. Do you know some people? They get way too complex with the mastering.
Yeah.
It's like music isn't a complex thing, is it? It's like it's more about the feeling.
Okay.
That's my philosophy
Yeah, I
behind
like
it.
that.
So, you'll start watching this shit on YouTube and they're going on about, fraction of a dB here and all this. And it's kind of like, well, who's listening to it at that level?
Yeah.
Who's analysing it on that level? Because the average listener of this West Yorkshire hip hop shit, they ain't listening to it on that level.
Car, it's a phone.
Do you know what I mean?
best,
It just needs to be loud enough.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
clear enough to hear the fucking bass and the vocals, and you crushed it.
Yeah, fair. So, do you feel there's a point in time where you might not even need to teach anymore and master anymore, where it's just a Jack Danz productions and releases financial situation?
It could be, man, because I'm in the talks right now with someone who's going to finance the whole fucking thing.
Oh, yeah?
So it's going
Wow.
to be establishing a label, man.
Nice.
By the look of it, yeah. But obviously that's just like an idea at the minute. But the music's there.
Yeah.
We've got all the designs for like clothing. We've got the designs for
Clothing and
everything.
shit?
Yeah, man. We're gonna just go fucking.
Can I hear the name?
It's potentially Lucidia, like the name of my last project. But that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna take through and call the label as
And
well.
you'd be the head honcho of that. Are you bringing
Yeah,
people
man.
in on that, or is it just you?
So I'll be partners with the lad who's going to finance it,
Yeah.
and then it's just going to be me doing, quality control, and then just putting out music that I fuck with.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's that much of my shit that could get pressed that, we're going to be busy for a bit with that.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be like, stuff I make, just because the amount of people that are like, where can I get this on vinyl, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's
fully.
it's a shame, innit? Because it should all be there. But like I say, it's hopefully going to happen soon. I've always wanted to do that,
Yeah.
but it's looking like it's going to happen now.
Nice, man. Amazing stuff. Fucking congratulations. I really hope that does happen. That'll be amazing, man. Collaborations are like something you're pretty well known for. I was only listening to the I'm going to start with the Jester J collaboration, the Moose
yeah.
Solutions, which you entirely produced. Because you've done a couple of like almost entirely produced things. Like, is Jester J someone you knew for years, or is that just something, did he holler you? Is it people, because it felt like there was a time where you could just go, holler Jack Danz, he'll sort you a beat, and pretty much you'd sort most, I mean, I don't know about the financial recompense, but like you'd sort most people a beat, know, just
There was a time when I was definitely trying to get my name out there.
Yep.
And just giving beats to everyone I fucked with.
Yep.
With Jester Jacobs, I actually know him because me and him had a rap battle.
No.
Yeah, when I was like 19
I were
or
there.
something.
Top
Yeah.
of Smokestack.
Yeah,
I were
yeah.
there. I remember it well.
The golden mic thing, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you got to, you knew him from that moment. Bloody hell.
That's how I knew him, and then like I always seen him at parties around Aire Park and stuff, and then I've always known him because he's a stand-up comic. Like I don't know if you know. Yeah. He's really.
I've seen him a
talented.
couple of times. I've seen him at Fringe and that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just he goes touring with that Jamali Maddox. Do you know him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they're good mates, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he his
so-
tour support then?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's
I'm like
sick.
95% sure on that. Yeah, I think they played in Leeds not so long ago, but it was like day after my birthday. And
I think he's back in September. I think he's
Sick,
back next
sick.
month, so I'm going to try and go through for that.
Yeah, he's fucking well funny, man.
So he hollered you for tracks for that album, did he? Or?
Yeah, he wanted to do a project, so I was like, yeah, man, let's make it happen. Because
Nice.
he's a fucking well good rapper, man, as well.
He's fucking dope with it, man.
he's
Well,
sick,
I knew him as a rapper, obviously, first of all, and like the stuff he was doing in 2008 still bangs now, you know what I mean? Blap and all that, mate, iconic lead shit, man.
Yeah.
What about, so you have a long-term, I would say now, affiliation with Blah Records.
Yeah.
Who are like, you say like it's just something, but like, there's most rappers in the UK bite their fucking arm off to do something with Blah Records.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? Because like the reputation they've got, the units they sell, the fan base they have. How did that come about in the first instance? Like,
Yeah, that whole fucking Blah movement is iconic, man.
Crazy.
In the UK, it's like, it's my favourite fucking entity, do you know what I mean, that exists.
yeah.
I've known Lee Scott for over a decade, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he's just like fucking solid guy, do you know what I mean?
How did you get to know him, or were you chucking him beats, or?
I just fucking went up to him one time.
Sit straight.
He were playing the show I were playing. I think it was in like this working man's club in York, some like
Big
proper
in the
weird
game.
setup. And I think that was when I first met him, but I just remember I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go talk to him. I fuck with him heavy, so I was just like proper human with him, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think he respected that because there's so much fucking ego shit, do you know what I mean?
Course. And
it's like
online
I was
nonsense.
just like honest about everything, and he was like, yeah. And ever since that, we've always helped each other out.
Nice.
He's helped me out like, I can't thank the guy enough, do you know what I mean? He got me in touch with my publisher. He's like, yo, there's a song that me and him made, and it's getting like millions of plays on Taiwanese TikTok, and you're not getting paid for it.
Oh, what?
So he goes, get involved with this company, and they'll get you paid for it. So he
Nice.
got me signed to this publishing agency.
Yeah.
But as opposed, where it differs from like your PRS and your PPL is they collect worldwide. So they're going out and they're finding these royalties for you, and they're collecting
Right.
it for you. So there's fucking money there, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling people.
Taiwanese, yeah.
Is it Taiwanese or what's the other place? Thailand.
Thailand, right.
It-
Are they just
s-
fucking with
somewhere-
like
somewhere
dark
in-
hip hop?
Somewhere in Asia. No, they've made this like fucking dance routine to it and that, bro. It's
What?
mad. This is a song from like, must be like 10 years ago, man. But he showed me the stats and that, and he was like, you're old money. Let me get you in touch with this.
Yeah.
So he got me, I just got signed to him, so I've just like documented all my tracks with them, and then just, that's going
Would you
forward.
be, so with Lucidia, that was the name of the potential label,
Lucidia,
right?
yeah,
Lucidia. Would you kind of are you trying to make that in his image, or like in sort of, you know, adapting ideas that he brought in? Because he kind of had a lot of ideas first, I think, in UK hip hop, certainly in the kind of genre he's in. Because
Yeah, you
his Blah Records, the genre of the hip hop is like so in your Venn diagram.
Yeah,
Do you
of
know what I mean?
course.
Like,
But that's a reflection of them inspiring me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Word.
But a bit of both. Do you know what I mean? But you can't deny the guy's work rate. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
like
no.
the amount of time he's put into it. That's what I respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like he was always the representation of the North for me. Like the massive representation of the North,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he had, you know, you got Bill Shakes, Blackburn. I mean, it's not necessarily North, but you know what I'm saying? It's that.
It's not London.
Exactly. It's not the
West of the
Southern thing,
North.
because we all know the Southern thing's big.
Yeah.
And you've got High Focus and that.
Yeah.
Got to send respect to High Focus as
Course.
well, because, you know, Flip Tricks has been doing bits for time.
Yeah.
And they put me on for the Jam Baxter shit and what have you. But
Yeah.
something about, you know, like I say, the Blah thing is like iconic, man. It's
Yeah.
it's that dark sound. It's that real, gritty UK sound.
And there seems to be a lot of people lapping that shit up. Like he's selling out records in no time at all, while the rest
Yeah,
of us
man,
like
it's-
struggle to shift a couple hundred.
It's good music, bro. It's good music. Do you know what I mean? Like all the shit they put out, they got good like quality control. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's got to the point where it's a tight set, like a tight crew, as well as being a label. It's not just they're getting every fucking Tom, Dick and Harry on the label. do you know what I mean? It's-
Good quality control, like
It's
you were
more
saying
like
earlier, innit?
push the boyos, isn't it?
Yeah, fair play. Is there, because it feels like you could work with anyone in the fucking world. Are there
Yeah.
people like you're like, I need to do some tracks with them, I need to work with them, or have you not? Or would you keep it under your hat more?
Well, it was always like coming up. It was always Jest and
Yeah.
Jam Baxter.
You haven't done shit with Jest yet?
Yeah, I
I'm
done
gonna say
that track with Luna,
Oh,
didn't
no,
I?
of course,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's another collab. You did pretty much that whole album, didn't you? The
Did
Most High.
Luna's album on Blah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Did a lot of that. Luna, obviously, I've known him for time.
Yeah.
Fucking solid guy, innit?
Yeah.
And
I've said that's some of his best work, I think.
Oh,
that
safe,
album, like
safe, bro.
production and what he spat over it was like next level.
Yeah, there's that one tune, man. I can't remember the name of any songs, mate. But
Thanks.
he done this one song, and it's just like, yeah, this is what he should be rapping on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It felt right, didn't it? When that album just like, oh shit, these are the beats he's been meaning to rap on for ages. Not taking away from any Hashfinger beats that he's absolutely murdered as well in the
but
time
I
as
mean,
well.
in fact, I say that, And then recently started doing a lot more double time shit.
Yeah.
And I've been mastering a few of them.
Have you? Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, he's fucking hard on the double time as
Nice,
well,
man.
And obviously his battling shit's crazy. Like, yeah, he's a fucking...
He's a hero,
He's a standout from WY for sure,
We'll
man.
get him on. We'll get him on this when he can be fucking arsed.
You need to get Luke on, man.
J&D.
Yeah.
I asked him. That's like one of my oldest mates, man. He's not having it.
He's as bad as me, mate.
Yeah, well, he ain't, because you were up for it, bro. You just responded to that.
Nah, I took some convincing, bro.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
He's just about to have a kid, and I know he's busy. But I hollered him, was like, "Do you want to do it?" He's like, "Don't really want to talk about my music and stuff." So nah, and I was like, "Oh, but." So if you send him a message and be like, "Get on this," because I'd like people to know
I'll
that
tell
story.
him, but you know what can I say? But I tell you something, he's fucking been a big inspiration on me, man. Yeah. Like
J&D.
every time he used to come through to my house a lot, 'cause we made that album together.
Jay and Danz, which is another great collaboration project.
And he always used to come to my house and it'd be like, you know, dragging him through the fucking depraved mess that I was living in, and he'd always come through and be like, yeah, you know, you could see, yeah, he was like, yeah, what the fuck's going on here? But then he'd stick on his beats, and I'd just be like, shit, I need to get better at making
Guys
beats.
made banging
man.
beats since 05, bro. Since I met him, like.
And then it's like Fruity Loops, and I'm like, what the fuck,
Fruity Loops
mate?
3 or something. He won't upgrade. Still using this horrible slicer that they used to have on it.
He's a machine, man.
He is
like,
crazy with it.
Like I say, him and Hashfinger, man, it's always them ones, they were like playing me beats, and I'm like, fuck, I need to up my game.
Yeah,
so it's good to have
yeah.
people like that around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got any? Is there any more Jay and Dan's in the works that I've not heard yet, or was it just that project you did with him?
We messed about with a few things, but nothing solid at the minute now.
Fair enough.
But like I say, I'd love to, you know, we always say, oh, we'll link up and that, but it's just life, innit? Life gets in.
Of course, Well, you were saying, so you said you were two people you wanted to work with, Jan Baxter and Jest. You did Jan Baxter as well, did you? I
I did the full album with Granuka and Jan Baxter.
Mad shit. So that's ticked off the list.
South American artist, Granuka and Jan Baxter, and then you've got like Jan Baxter rapping in English and Spanish on there, so it's fucking crazy, man. I even got a play from Huey Morgan on Radio 6 in it. So
always nice when he blesses you with one, man. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hard to get back. Did you manage to open up a link? Because I got played once by him. Thought I had a link. It quickly shut up. Do you feel like you could get someone else played by Huey Morgan?
That's all. I mean, I literally just made the beats for that one.
Okay,
yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
the High Focus machine. Yeah. That's it got released on High Focus, so they're pushing it in the right places.
So you put out
man.
a full record with Jan Baxter on High Focus. You put out a full record with Luna on Blah. What the fuck else is there to do in UK? Fuck all, you need to be on fucking Rock Nation or some shit, man. That's the next step, isn't it? Getting with American lads and that.
This is a thing, man. Like, people are always like, oh, why don't you send beats to, you know, because some of my favourite rappers is like Conway and Westside, and
surely that's,
obviously
that's
the Griselda thing. Yeah, this is what people tell me, but I'm like, I got that many projects on the go. I'm keeping it UK for the time being, but yeah, I'll send some beat packs, man, when the time comes.
I reckon there's someone that you know that through one of these labels that will be able to get that in front of them. Considering High Focus have worked with Snoop Dogg and Meth Man and DJ Premier and shit, there feels like there's a link there, man.
Fucking mad.
People are making moves and you're working with those people, so it seems like bang to rights. Fucking hell. So you've done a lot, man. Bloody hell. What's the future looking like for you? What do you? In fact, what I was going to ask, what's happening with Defenders? Is that dead until Joe's back, or is there more shit to come, or?
Yeah, so you got Joe living in Australia, then you got my man Priest. He's got his kids and that. So then we've actually got a single coming out.
Yeah.
All
four of you on
managed it. Yeah. When Joe came the last time, we all went to that studio. I talk about it in Armley.
Yeah.
Made a A and B side. And we got visuals for it and that.
Yeah.
So that's coming in September.
September?
And that's exclusive.
Something to be excited about. This might not make it out before then, annoyingly.
Buzzing. So that's already out.
Yeah. And your beat, obviously, yeah? So
my beats, yeah.
Nice, you've got a single there, that's good.
It's got some of that old flavour, but it's also got, the B side is a bit, I can't remember which one's A and which one's B, but
yeah,
it's got the old flavour and the new, so.
You don't think, performance-wise, probably, unless he comes over or you're in Australia, they'll never be sort of Defenders style live again? And
yeah, it'll happen, man, it'll happen, but it ain't the main excuse me, it ain't the main thing that's getting pushed, you know what I mean?
Nah. What's live
But-
like for you as well? In fact, I caught you at Pairside doing a solo performance there. You doing some beats and some spitting as well. Like, what's Jack Danz like? Is that something you're looking for, doing more Jack Danz live
Yeah,
stuff?
man.
or-
I mean, I've got another solo LP coming.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
What's that
so
called?
I ain't got a name for it yet. Yeah, but it's just like a body of work that's in the process. It just comes in waves for me. Like, you know, there's times when I want to rap and times when I don't.
Yeah.
But when that comes out, I'll be wanting to push that. Also, me and Scott Free, we've got his solo LP coming really soon.
Yep.
Then me and him have worked on a follow-up to the first Die Living project that we made.
Yeah.
So we've got Die Living 2, and that's nearly finished. That's nearly coming out.
Sick.
So we're going to do a launch party for that shit.
Nice.
And when I've got my new thing, I want to play. And plus, let me say, Joe is back in September, and we're really looking to get a show sorted out. So me and him play, because we've got that joint EP that we did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Death Sentence.
Elephants. Oh, right. Well, you did some bits on Elephants.
I
though,
did
innit?
bits on Elephants, but me and him have got an EP that we made like the last time he was across for a bit, called Death Sentence, and some bangers on there that we never got to play live. So it'd be good to play a few of them, a few of his bits from Elephants, a few of my new bits. So we're looking to get that popping, but it's just, I think he's only here for a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
see what we can do.
Sick, man. Well, I think, Jack, that'll probably fucking sort us for the whole session.
Buzzing,
but it's
man,
been an
buzzing.
honour to have you, man. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming
respect,
through.
man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Big up. So that was Jack Danz. It was great to have the time to talk to him about all the amazing things he's got cooking and all the things that he's already done. You've got to go support his music. And if you've never heard about him before, then you need to get out of the rock that you've been living under. Until next time, big up.